Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. What a time of the season we're in. We just had the Cheltenham November meeting. We've got the Betfair Chase this weekend, and even the weekend after, we've got Constitution Hill versus the New Lion in the Fighting Fifth. Having seen Constitution Hill gallop at Newbury today, a lot of people are tired of hearing the horse, but I'm excited to see him on the track. Here's a list for you before we go on to the video. Ile Francais, Pic Dory, the Jukebox Man, Django Bay, Heartwood, Grey Dawning, Royal Pagaille, Haiti Colours, Handstands, Factor File, Gaelic Warrior, Fast or Slow, and Lecky Watson. No, that's not just a list of good horses. That's a list of potential horses running this weekend. That is a list, Harry, that I think we should be very, very looking forward to. We'll go into just obligatory intro and what happened in the week gone by. But Harry, just, we're in a nice part of the season. We've just had Cheltenham. If all those horses turn up this weekend, that could be something special.
Yeah, just a quick one actually. I was packing up the stuff from the stand at Cheltenham on yesterday when I went down, and I was reminded that we're already a third of the way into the season.
Jeez.
And I was thinking, like, that's crazy. It has flew by. We haven't seen many horses because the weather's been, hasn't really played ball. But I think now you've just mentioned, you've reeled off a load of horses there. You're starting to see them because they've been in the box. They've got to go out and they've got to be against each other. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's always one of the best weekends. I think this weekend you've got the Morgiana, you've got the Betfair Chase, you've got the 1965. It's just a fantastic weekend of racing, and the list of horses that are coming back. We saw plenty on the gallop this morning from Newbury, and I know you've been up north freezing your bollocks off this morning. So it's a good time of the year. The weather's finally changed. We have got the rain, and it's good to see these horses coming out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not usually just dressing up this smart for my health. I have been up north on a racing TV shoot today, and this hat from Bedmax, who supply lots of bedding to racing yards and other horse equine related yards around the country, has become very useful in my life today. Very cold up north. Just myself and Harry on the videos today. Lee is unable to come on this week. We will be back, I assume, for next week and potentially even the Saturday show this weekend. But we'll just give a quick nudge to some winners we had. No drum this end for myself in Cheltenham on Friday. I know Lee was very, very sweet on Alexi in the Great Wood Hurdle, and I think he had him in a big price double for his odds checker column. So that was very nice. Trying to think if there's any other winners. Harry, I don't want to put you on the spot, but did you have any winners at Cheltenham on the weekend?
I had a tough weekend. I got done. I can't think of the name of the horse now. On Friday, the John McConnell horse. I thought, behind yours, behind the John McConnell. Yeah, I thought those two were. Really two really nice horses. And people slagging off Nichols. I thought, for what No Drama Descent showed, they went a good clip. He jumped like a buck, and he looked like he'd only just joined in when he jumped the last. Thought it was a really, really good run. So I know we're going to talk a few eye catchers. So I think we may as well get flying into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's sort of standard with the video. The running order for this video, just with us two here, we're going to do the Betfair Chase sort of preview with the 1965 Chase in the second half. We're just going to run through some of our sort of week review and our main talking points and eye catch from the week, because I think it's very useful to not only talk about horse that we fancy for the weekend, especially at the time that we do on a Tuesday going into a Wednesday morning, but also review on what we've just watched on the weekend when we've had plenty of time to sort of sit down and have a little look at it. So I suppose open it up to you, Harry, first of all, because we had 3 days of Cheltenham. Some performances that caught your eye, or maybe just some eye catchers that you thought definitely the viewers at home, if they haven't already liked and subscribed to the channel, should be liking and subscribing to the channel on the back of hearing some great thoughts from yourself.
Yeah, look, I'm going to kick things off, and it's a little bit of a rogue one, but Stencil, I thought, jumped like an absolute buck. Around Cheltenham, it looked like it was kind of an easy ride. Harry Cobden wasn't too hard on him. He was actually declared for the Beginner's Chase at Exeter yesterday, as we record on Tuesday, behind obviously Lalamba, who won the race. But I think he's lurking off a dangerous mark. He's in the mid 120s. If he can just creep up, he could be a big threat going forward. Talking of which, obviously, the Lalamba, I thought Fingal Bridge yesterday was a big eye catcher, and I thought something like the Jack Richards, the new Turners, is that what it's called? Now Yeah, now it's a handicap. I think that's that's very, very dangerous. I thought Kate O'Reilly for the James Owen team ran really well in defeat into third. Was wearing the second colours of I can't think of the other horse of the James Owen, the Gradley colours. Didn't run too well. Hallelujah You, I think it was called. Didn't
Yeah.
That horse didn't jump too well, but Kate O'Reilly really did and stuck on well. Already a winner over hurdles. And actually, I'm gonna say another horse from the James Owen yard is probably my main eye catcher, and he's not one that everybody probably watched him and think it was in anticipation. I thought Ambiente Friendly ran such a good race on hurdles debut. Jumped really well, really fluent. And if when he started going, Sam Twiston Davies could actually get a hold of him. I thought when he got swallowed, I thought, okay, now you're in trouble. You're in big trouble now. But he did stick on and finish fourth or so behind the fast finishes. And I think a flat track like Kempton or something like that, he'd be much to my liking. So yeah, there's a few for you, and I know you've got quite a few as well, which is there's plenty to take out from this weekend.
Yeah, just a couple of your horses there with Ambiente Friendly and Kate O'Reilly for James Owen, definitely. And Sensor, yeah, I think he's lurking sort of 135, which I thought, I thought he travelled really, really nicely through that Arco trial. And he was actually, having backed July Flower, I thought, oh no, I'm going to get done by sort of the slightly unexposed French Raider here. But yeah, I thought he travelled well and just didn't really see it out. Maybe he was lacking for fitness. That was maybe the thing that did him. But I definitely thought he ran a good race. Look, I'll just run through it very, very quickly from sort of Friday to Saturday to Sunday. I hope this is useful to people. If you don't find it useful, then please just skip on a couple of minutes forwards. Veterans Chase for Can You Call ran a very, very eye-catching race for Evan Williams. Definitely think there's a race in him this season, whether it's another veterans race or even the Welsh National Day handicap that he ran in last year and behind Lowry's Bar. Thought he could be a horse for that. The novice, the 3 mile race, just the novice chase. Not sure about Weighed Out, but Double Powerful was running an okay race before falling. He's entered in a Chasing Excellence race next Monday. I can't remember where it is now, but he's entered there. I just want to keep an eye on him going forward. The Schlur Chase, probably my biggest opinion of the weekend, is that Leur de Sud is definitely a player in the Champion Chase this season. I know that John Bon was lacking for fitness, and I know that Leur de Sud was trained to the absolute minute, but I have a feeling it'll be one more run for Leur de Sud in the Tingle Creek, and then he'll go to the Champion Chase, be a fresh horse.
Would that not worry you, though? Would that not worry you coming in? They're saying about the fresh horse action. I completely agree with you here because I think he is a big player. And for what we saw was, he's being played down. But if they're talking about him being so fresh and he was trained to the minute for the Schlur, why are they taking the chance in a couple of weeks in the Tingle Creek? Because that is going against completely what Dan Skelton was saying. And I know it's about the prize money and stuff, but surely you could just wait. Just wait. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think you just have to have one more spin with him while the horse is in good form and just see what the form is. Take on John Bon again, who's hopefully got the race fitness under his belt. He has won around Sandown before. I don't think his Henry VIII performance was his best performance of last season at Sandown, but I think you just have to go to Sandown and have a little bit of a look. And if he disappoints or he just finishes second or finishes third, put him away, bring him back for the Champion Chase. I know it's boring, but it's the best chance he's got of winning Champion Chase. And I think he might end up being a forgotten horse by the time March rolls around. He's 10-1 now anti-post. I actually wouldn't recommend taking that. I'd recommend sitting on your hands and waiting for 16-1, something like that, or maybe even upwards when the likes of Majborough start coming out and winning races, kind of thing. So I just thought Ludser was very, very, very good. There's not many horses in this year's Champion Chase who have turned up to Cheltenham and put in 170 performances around the course and distance of the Queen Mum. And he put in a 170 performance this week, and he put in a 155 performance when winning the Arco trial last year, hard held. So very impressed by him. John Bon, I hope he comes back in the Tingle Creek, because my slightly more obtuse opinion is John Bon on the other side of the hill. I've always a very disappointing performance in the Schlur, to be honest. I know I need it, but yeah, not sure. No Drum this end, very good. He should be winning the Shallow. He will win the Shallow, I think. And I have a feeling he could be the horse that really puts Nichols on the map for these novice hurdles in Cheltenham, because he has something special about him, I think. I really think there's something that's just between the eyes, inside his head, that is Very, very special. Notes handicap heard on the Friday. Jack Hyde and Frontier Prince for Fergal. Definitely horse to follow. They can be winning races this season. Saturday, Precious Man, shaped like a horse for the Fred Winter. I thought maybe one more run in the new year on some better ground.
Not anymore for the Fred Winter after what Mr. BHJ handicap has done to him.
Giving him a mark of 135. I thought that was a bit harsh, to be honest with you. Maybe I was looking at around the 130 mark kind of thing for him. 135 is potentially harsh, but give him one more run in January or something like that, and then they could go to the Fred Winter, I think, because they've just bought those two French horses from the Simon Menier and Isaac Suede at dispersal sale, and the one's meant to be very, very smart. So I think I can see him being a Fred Winter horse. Arkle Trial, maybe be aware for the Jack Richards if they give him one more run in the Grade 1 over 2 miles, and then go from there. Paddy Power, don't really have too much opinion apart from the fact that if Panic Attack does turn up to the Coral Gold Cup, which they've touted the race in her potential plans, I think she could definitely be a player because she'd only get a £4 penalty, and Tristan Durrell would ride, so would claim £1 off her back. Would claim £3 off her back, so she'd only be £1 higher. So if she ran in the Coral Gold Cup, she'd have to go very, very close. And Divine Diva and Rock Sensation were definitely eye catchers in the Mayor's Bumper on the Saturday. And then finally Sunday, sorry for going on, but Jordan's Cross should have won that race in the 2.5 mile not handicap chase for Anthony Honeyball.
It's two in that. Sorry, actually, I want to mention one in that as well as you. Glenn Gooley, I thought they're the two to take out of that. I thought they were both. I know you're going to mention about Jordan's Cross, but Glenn Gooley made that mistake at the last, and I thought would have been a good second to Jordan's Cross.
Yeah.
Had he not tipped up. So yeah, I'll let you carry on. Sorry.
I thought no, you bang on. I just thought Jordan's Cross would have won, and I actually looked at the photos from photographer mates of mine. He never put the landing gear out. He absolutely never put the landing gear out. He went straight to his knees and fell. I couldn't believe it. He would have won, and I'm slightly gutted, but he'll definitely be a horse winning race this season. They've not got to the bottom of him yet. So that's my Cheltenham review, and that's Harry.
Just on him, Ash. I think he'd be suited by the what's it called on the 27th at Kempton of December. The one that Forward Plan? I think Forward Plan won it for the Honeyballs.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
I think it's the Desert Orchid.
Yeah, Desert Orchid. Yeah,
I think that Soul Icon won it last year, and I think Forward Plan won it the year before, maybe. I definitely think that'd be his bag. So hopefully, if that goes right, that could be some. I think Jordan's Cross is definitely one to take out.
That is a 2 mile race. I'm not sure. Maybe he has run over 2 miles. He wanted to over 2 miles start the season. It's 2.5 miles on the weekend. Maybe it could be that. I wonder, just because it's a limited handicap chase and you usually get sort of potential Grade 2 horses turning up to that, whether he'd just be priced out of it in the handicap potentially. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Something like a Kempton race would be for him, I think. Even though he's shown himself to good ability around Aintree and Cheltenham, Anthony Honeyball likes to send horses to Kempton when he can. Like he did win the Coral Trophy with Forward Plan.
The Coral Trophy. That's the race. It's not there's
over 3 miles. Over 3 miles.
Over 3 miles. Yes, that's the one.
I think he could be a horse. Yeah, don't disagree at all. Step up trip could be the making of him. So yeah, I just thought Jordan's Cross was definitely a horse to follow for this season. There you go, Cheltenham and sort of eye catchers review done. Hopefully we're giving you some horses to put into the tracker. Fingers crossed. Anyway, we'll go on to the crux of the video then. Betfair Chase. Is it the first Grade 1 of the UK season? It is, isn't it? Obviously, the first Grade 1 in Ireland is the Dan Royal Champion Chase. This is the first one in the UK, and it looks like a pretty decent affair. Grey Dawning tops the market 11-8. Haiti Couleurs is 7-2. Royal Pagaille, last year's winner, 6-1. Handstands 13-2. Stellar Story 11-1. Hitman 33s and Marsh Wren a big 40-1 for Stuart Edmonds' mare there. Harry, Grey Dawning, for all the money, looked like the winner last year. Got the last wrong. Royal Pagaille, specialist round Haydock, went and collared him. How do you see this race? Because it's a very interesting race compared to last year with the inclusion of the likes of Haiti Couleurs and Handstands in there, as well as last year's one too. So I think it's a better race. What's the sort of top of your list at the prices at this stage?
Look, I think with the forecast, you've got to look at it and you've got to be thinking, is the ground going to be to like Royal Pagaille's like him, but he wants a swamp and he isn't getting any younger. Haiti Couleurs is this new kid on the block. I just think that Grey Dawning, with the way that the Skeletons are targeting these early season big pots, I think this is his Gold Cup. I really do. I think there was nothing wrong with the performance last year. He looked like the winner all the way around. He jumped the last, all bar the last that he got wrong. He jumped so well. So I think Grey Dawn is a skinny price, but I do think he will win. And just a quick one. The Monday after the November meeting this time last year, I think he's something like 100 grand up. I think is what he's up from last year. Skelton, which I think is quite interesting in terms of. I could be wrong in saying that. I think I read an article earlier, which is what that said. So I could be wrong, but it just shows, regardless of what the figures are, that Skelton's. He could have took out all three features at the November meeting. He took out the Schlur, he took out the Paddy Power Gold Cup, and he could have taken out the Greatwood, but obviously for Alexei that bumped him. But Favor, ran really well in third or second, whatever the horse did. So yeah, I think Grey Dawn has the class. I'd expect to see a big run. Haiti Couleurs, I think, it would like it softer, but I'd expect him to follow the Grey home. So yeah, Grey Dawn for me.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, we had a bit of a Jockey Club organised press huddle with both Dan Skelton and Ben Pauling on the Sunday of Cheltenham. Ben Pauling was very, very sweet on handstands. He was very sweet on handstands, to be honest, in the summer. And he kind of likes the fact that it's not going to be massively testing conditions. Same for Dan Skelton. Skelton thinks that last year, the really, really heavy ground got Grey Dawning beat, even though he does like soft ground, sort of that bottomless Haydock, raw guy type ground got him beat last year. It wasn't fitness that got him beat, and he's as fit as he's as fit as he was last year, kind of thing. So I think you have to really, really respect Grey Dawning at the top of the market. I kind of have it between two, and I think it is Grey Dawning and handstands. So I completely see your case for him. I just think he's a very good horse, but I think the prices dictate me to put forward handstands. Just think we haven't got to the bottom of him yet, really. Like he is this horse who, not unexposed as such, but I think there's a bit more to come from him this season, especially being tried over 3 miles. And the one time they tried him over 3 miles at Aintree, and he got basically taken out of the race when Dancing City unfortunately fell and died. But I mean, for last season, he shaped really, really nicely at class in the rearranged Tarleton Novices Chase. Then he beat Django Bay over 2.5 miles. Django Bay went to win the Arkle, and 2.5 miles was probably Django Bay's trip. Yes, it was on heavy ground at Sandown, but he did really, really well that day to beat Django Bay. I thought it was a very, very good performance. And then he finished second to Resplendent Glare on seasonal reappearance in the Colin Park. I thought it was a very respectable run. Slightly softer ground, step up in trip. I think it's going to be for him. This is his best chance of winning a Grade 1 this season, hands down, and hands down for handstands. But I do think this is really his race. So it's not going to be absolutely, Haydock heavy. It's going to be soft ground. It's going to ride slightly softer than everywhere else in the country. But I think this is potentially the one for handstands. So I'd take him at the prices, but I might just have something small on Grade 1 just to cover myself. Rob Guy, I know he'll be trained to the minute, but he is a year older kind of thing. And Haiti Couleurs, maybe just a point too short in my book. So yeah, handstands and Grey Dawning, definitely for me. Handstands probably leaning towards at the prices. We're also going to do the Grade 2 1965 Chase because it's a very, very interesting race. Ile-et-Francais tops the market. First start for Tom George since coming back to the yard from Noel George and Manzetta home 2-1. Pictory 5-2, Gidley Park 4-1, Django Bay 5-1, but Django Bay is also in the graduation chase at Haydock, as is the Jukebox Man, who's 7-1. He's leaning towards graduation chase at Haydock and not this race for the benefit of the tape. Heartwood 10, same price as Master Chewy, Boom Born 14s, Fire Fox 16s, Hitman 20, and Free Card Bragg 3-1. Harry, Ile-et-Francais, he's almost as big a talking horse as Constitution Hill, in the way that, they're two horses who have had maybe their issues, their sort of things away from the track, and they keep getting spoken about, week on week, and especially if Ile-et-Francais changing trainers, but sort of staying in the same operation of the Georges. So what do you make of Ile-et-Francais, and what do you make of the 1965 Chase? Is Ile-et-Francais your winner?
No, he's not. Now, I have been a fan of this horse, but I think I almost think the fact that I know that, he's traveling, he's now with Tom George, I don't think it's a positive. Now, I know that the horses come over to Tom George's for the summer, pretty much, I think, every year. I think they all go over to Tom George's and then they go back over to France. I think I might be right in saying that. But I don't think it's a good thing that, he's staying over here. I don't think it's going to be any easier over here than it will be over in France. If anything, I think it'd be the other way around, because He has got good form. He's got great form over, those French style offences. You can't ignore the fact how good he was in the Quarto Star, and how good he was in the King George last year when he just got nabbed by Banbridge. But I just can't rely on him. And I think 2-1. If you're taking 2-1 about a horse with more question marks than not, it's not for me anyway. I think that the value play, regardless of whether it be an anti-post, I think Heartwood at tens is a huge price. I really do think Heartwood at tens is a massive, massive price. The others, the novices, they have to step up. They're coming in the Gidley Park, for example. You've got Gidley Park. I know Django Bay's an intended runner, but those sort of horses, to go from novice company to open company, it's a huge step up. I remember listening to Darryl Jacob on a podcast, and he said it's at least £10 that you need from stepping up into Grade 1 novice company to Grade 1 open company. Heartwood is this, proven horse. He was running behind the likes of Factor Farn, who he ran, stormed up the hill. He finished 9 lengths behind him in front of Ile Francais. It wasn't so good at Fairy House, but I think I'm going to put that down to the ground. He obviously then reappeared in the Betfair Chase at Punchestown. He beat your old mate Monbeg Park, and Croke Park was well beaten there. But he won as if, he looked like a breath of fresh air. He's only 7. I just think that he is a proper horse, and I think 10-1's a massive price. And he likes to go right-handed. He'll like the ground. I'm willing to get rid of a few quid each way. Just even if he doesn't turn up, I think if he is an intended runner, he won't be 10-1 on the day.
Yeah, does anyone know where Django Bay is going?
I think is he not going to the the graduation chase?
I don't know if
he's
he's
in
in
it.
Graduation Chase. Well, he's in both, and he's shorter for the Graduation Chase. I've just been literally in the background trying to search up which race he might go for. I don't know.
Surely he's more likely to go for the Graduation Chase. Bearing in mind it's, I think the only reason why the Jukebox Man can run in it is because if you win 2, you're allowed to run in it, same as Django Bay.
Yeah,
I think that's right. So Django Bay's obviously won.
It's 2 runs or less. Yeah, you're bang on.
So obviously they can't. There's no point going for anything else. Why go for anything else when you've got a perfect race for your horse? But I'm not trained.
Yeah, I was guessing that the Graduation Chase would be the race for him. I'm just trying to work out if he does any sort of type of jumping to left or right. No, he's pretty decent. Yeah, it's not going to be a race I'm going to be getting stuck into right now, just because I don't know which race Django Bay is going for, because I think he's a key factor in this. I just give my thoughts. I kind of agree with you on Ile Francais. I just don't know about his preparation, because they were sort of thinking about the Holden Gold Cup with him, and then I think this is the King George is definitely his target. So they're going to leave their race behind in a race like this. I don't know. Obviously, he's going to be somewhat prepared, but this is still going to be a month out from the King George kind of thing. So I'd be happy to just leave him. And Gidley Park, I've never really warmed to Gidley Park, to be honest. He's a big horse with his issues, but he could be anything. It's a very, very interesting race if the likes of Gidley Park and Heartwood and Django Bay turn up. I think maybe you have to be very respectful of Pic D'Orhy, just because he usually comes to this race first time out and just sort of not scrambles home, but last year it was definitely his worst performance of the season, bar pulling up behind Gaelic Warwick Sandown was his run in this race last year. He comes into this race with the benefit of race fitness now, 21-day break. Paul Nichols's horse are probably just turning the corner nicely. I think you have to respect him highly, but I completely agree with you on Heartwood in the fact he does look overpriced, just based on the fact that he is, he's a proper speed horse kind of thing. He's probably a speedy 3-miler. He wouldn't get much further. This race would be right up his street, and why would they make the entry for him in this race if they don't think that he could go very close? I kind of hypothesized after he won at Punchestown, they were talking about running him in the Betfair, or saving him for the King George. I thought don't run him in a Betfair, first of all. Second of all, don't just go straight to the King George, because you're probably not going to win. And then why not go for something like the John Durkan? And I completely forgot that this race is a thing. So why not come for this race? This race probably fits him a bit better, being 2 mile 5, whereas the John Durkan's 2 mile 3.5 a furlong kind of thing. But you've got the race fitness over a lot of horses in here, and over at Punchestown on Sunday for the John Durkan. So why not have a little bit of a stab at a race like this. I thought 10 to 1 was very, very fair. And I didn't know why they entered him if they weren't going to sort of have a little bit of a dart. So I'd be very interested by Hartwood, definitely, at the prices. But if Django Bay turns up, I think he's my idea of the King George winner currently, or very, very close to the King George winner. So if he turned up, I'd have to be very respectful of him. There you go, Harry. We put up some fancies. You've been pretty strong there on Hartwood, and I sort of agree with you. And then the Betfair Chase, again, we've gone sort of agreement on Grey Dawning, but I've put up handstands at a price. So a couple of horses there. We'll go to anything else then for the weekend, because there is plenty to talk about. Have you found anything else away from the main two races there you want to throw away?
Yeah, well, I think Amsterdam's probably good value at evens at the moment. You're looking at it now. Lossie Martin there, she won't go. She'd go for the Hatton's Grace, will she not? You look at the rest in there. Ronsi's in there. William Mully.
I mean, the Racing Post stable tour that I recently read suggested that it is going to be that way around. Lossie Mouth for Hatton's Grace and Amsterdam. I think that's the most likely thing. But
surely they won't run. They won't run both against each other, will they?
Surely not.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the race. William Money. There's been plenty of talk about William Money going in, but I think Amsterdam, take nothing away from the horse. He's looked pretty special on his few starts. Even though he does need to brush up his jumping and he is injury prone, but I think on his day he is a live player in that champion hurdle division. Away from the rest, I'm more, everyone. A big follower of this, any follower of this channel will know how much I've loved the Jukebox Man from day dot, and it still pains me thinking about what happened in the Albert Bartlett that a couple of years ago. But he's just, I'd like to see him back first before I back him. He's a short price to win on Saturday in the graduation chase, but that'll be a good race. I think that'll be a good race. But I think Amsterdam was value at evens, and I'm looking elsewhere at Ascot. I know there's I'm going to go to the 240, Ascot hurdle, and Woodoo is in there. Now, you won't find many better 6-4 shots than her, especially in that. Now, I know you're a fan of Potter's Charm, and I know Katira's in there, who was obviously deadly against Golden Ace, but that was a nothing race. That was pretty much a walkover. Celtic Dino, the form's been franked, but Woodoo is a rocket.
I have a feeling with Woodoo, and I could be wrong, but Gordon Elliott's made a fair point about his yard being a couple of weeks behind where it usually is. I wonder just if Woodoo might need this or need it to a degree if she goes. I thought she might have been one for the Hatton's Grace, to be honest with you.
She's in on Sunday at Punchestown as well.
Okay.
In her listed mares.
They might even go there. I thought that the play was Potter's Charm with, as much as it wasn't like a completed run, race fitness. Like, he ran at Wetherby, got himself prepared for it. He went basically sort of half the way around kind of thing. And I thought that just with the benefit of that coming into this would be better for him. Also, just 2 mile 2 mile 3 would be slightly in his remit. We know he stays that distance rather than the sort of uncertainty of 3 miles. Thought Celtic Dino would be interesting at the prices, but if the ground is on that softer side, don't know if he's going to be going or not. If he does turn up and it is good ground, I'm not sure, but they are getting a bit of a downpour at Ascot today as we upload, but tomorrow as we record. So I thought Potter's Charm would be interesting in that race, to be honest with you. Can I run through others just quickly?
Woodoo is an intended runner
at Ascot.
Oh,
interesting. There you go. Potentially, but I'd still take Potter's Charm. I think I'd take the angle against Woodoo just first run of the season. The graduation chase, I'd be worried for your mate Jukebox Man needing it. Spoke to Ben Pauling on the weekend, and he said he sort of left plenty enough off, kind of thing. I have to give massive applause to you for first, putting the horse forward. Say it was after his Leicester run or something like that, or was it Foss last run? Sorry,
he won twice at Foss last, didn't he?
Yeah, you chucked him forward. And I thought, this guy is chatting absolute bollocks.
Well, I fancied him for the Challow, and he ran so well. He ran well in third, I think he finished.
Yeah.
And then he obviously went to the Bartlett and nearly
You
pulled off a fucking blinder.
you said about his Foss last week. I was like, no fucking chance. And then he's turned into a very, very good horse. So I have to keep applause there. If Django Bay turned up to this race, I'd be pretty sweet on him, to be honest. Just with Iroko probably not maybe needing it, and I'm not sure about the yard form. Gidley Park, don't know where he is. Butch wouldn't be very keen to back him in this kind of race. Nappers Hill, first start, they didn't get a run into him in order to come here, and the rest you can take on. If Django Bay comes here 5-2, it's a huge value. I'd love to know. I do apologize to the people watching. I've been trying to have a little look in the background, and I wish I kind of knew a bit more which race Django Bay was going for. But as it stands, as I'm recording to you right now, I don't know which race he's going for. But if Django Bay turns up on the weekend at Haydock, I'd be a lot sweeter for him in this race than I would be for the Ascot Chase, because Ascot Chase I think would be slightly deeper, but I'd still probably fancy him for that anyway, just to remember how good he was first time out at Cheltenham last season. Anything else to put forward?
No, they were quite nice on the YouTube comments to my haircut last week. It's been a highlight actually over the last few weeks. I've been quite enjoying it. I've been chuckling to myself searching up these random ones.
Well, just the one person was like, "Nice haircut, Harry." I like that.
I know.
I'll give you a couple of horses to follow this weekend. Snatcher Glance is entered both at Ascot on Friday, Kempton on Monday, and Ludlow on Monday. Highlighted her as an eye catcher. I thought either race, what obviously the final fields would be, but I'd be very keen with her. Andrew Royal is entered twice. Sorry, you gonna say something there, Hal?
Him. Glance.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I won't say this, but look at the horse's pedigree, and then figure out why he's called Snatcher Glance. He's it's quite funny.
Passing Glance out of a King's Theatre.
What's the horse's? What's the sire?
The sire's Passing Glance.
And what's the dam?
Wizard's
Sleeve.
Yeah, sleeve. Right,
Wizard's Sleeve.
Right. Yeah. Anyway,
oh, God. It is funny. It is funny.
I'd fancy him wherever he goes. Andrew Royal has entered at Ascot on Friday for a introductory 2-mile hurdle for Tom Lacey, and at Huntingdon on Saturday. I'd be keen on him this weekend. I think he could go off quite a big price. That's Andrew Royal, spelled UNJEU Royal. Brookie is in the 3:15 at Ascot. He has the same weights that he had when running at Cheltenham last time out, which is 149. It's steep enough, but I think he's a horse riddled with talent, and he's 12-1. So I'd be quite keen on him to run a big race each way. And then in the 3:35 at Haydock on Saturday, I don't think this race is priced up, unfortunately. But if Major Fortune runs, which I'm pretty sure he is going to run, I'd be very, 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 very sweet on him. Spoke to Dan Scout on the weekend. He said that Major Fortune ran a big race at Cheltenham's first start of the season, come on for the run, and the slightly softer ground will suit him nicely. Completely made for him when he ran at October, and I suggested that this is a horse to follow this season. He's dropped down to a mark of 119, which I believe is £1, or it might actually, £1 higher than his last winning mark. Softer ground. Harry Skelton's already jocked up. Major Fortune, whatever price he opens up at Haydock in the finale, I'd be quite keen on him. I want to give you all a horse that's priced up, but I haven't really looked too deeply at the 3-mile handicap hurdle, which is kind of the race I'm sniffing around. I suppose I've given you Brookie at 12-1. There's one. Just to mention, I may as well show the information that I've gathered for viewers at home. Joya Mashen and Ace of Spades are entered in the 3-mile Betfair Stayers handicap hurdle, 56 grand to the winner. Race at Haydock, 225. I think Joya Mashen is a bit of unfinished business with the horse. Dan was sort of quite gutted that he was collared at Utoxeter final start of last season. Has had a run over a distance that's probably inferior for his liking. Seems to be a bit more of a free miler these days based on his Utoxeter run. I think he was quite sweet on him running a decent race. And Ace of Spades apparently wasn't very fit at Aintree when he won. He's only been put up £3 and he's come on for it massively. So if the rain stays away and Ace of Spades runs, I think you have to be very keep an eye on Ace of Spades, but there's a chance the rain could come at Haydock and we don't know what happens. So Harry, just to confirm, to wrap up, Betfair Chase, Grey Dawning, and I agree, but handstands, and the 1965 Chase, you like
Hartwood.
Yeah.
And we'll do in the Ascot Hurdle, is it?
Ascot Hurdle, yeah. I kind of agree with you on Hartwood in the 1965 Chase, but also just a bit of a watching brief at this stage. I don't know what's going. Brookie in the 2 mile handicap Chase. Django Bay if he goes to the graduation Chase. And May Fortune, whatever price he opens up at in the 335 at Haydock, I'm definitely going to be quite sweet on him. We will have finalised fantasy for the weekend, Harold, on the Saturday show, 10:30 a.m. Make sure to tune in then. That's all we've got time for this video. I think we've covered plenty there with our Cheltenham review and weekend preview fancies. If you enjoy, please do like and subscribe. Harry, anything fun planned for this week?
Anything from? No, I'm going to go to the Fighting Fifth next weekend.
Nice.
I'm going to make the journey up north. What else am I doing? I don't really know. I have. So people may know that we've just announced a partnership with GB Pointing. So I'm hoping to go point to pointing for. I think I went as a kid like years and years ago, but I can't remember. And I really want to go. So now's the perfect opportunity. So if anybody's got any tips for going point to pointing, please do let me know in the comments below. So I can't wait. I think it's a really good initiative, and be good to get out there.
Nice. Wow. I've been to Chasley Corbett. That's my only experience point to pointing, and that was good fun. 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. Make sure to tune in for the Saturday live. And we'll be putting up our fancies, I'm sure, throughout the week. And make sure to follow us on Twitter at @ASimonsJourno, at HarryBeard7, at RacingLeague1, and at OFLH Racing on Twitter. If you're having a play on any of our fancies, please do it responsibly. Until the next time, we'll see you very, very soon.